FIFA 21 is in its final stages, and in all honesty, there's not much motivation from me to actually trade at this point, but I still want to get coins into the account, and I've got a few ideas of how I'm going to do that whilst putting a small amount of time into trading. Before the end of FIFA 21 and before FIFA 22 is released, I do want to have around 2 million coins. I want to be able to buy into the players that I want to keep as part of FIFA generations, and then I want to go on a massive pack opening. This is something that I do every single year, but when the game is at this stage and there isn't much motivation to trade, it leaves you to only doing a couple things. And those couple of things is what we're going to be going through in today's video. Before I do get into the video, if you enjoy the content here and you want to see more from me, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. We upload FIFA videos 3 times per week, covering FIFA 21 and the latest trading tips, whilst also moving on to FIFA 22 and talking about the latest news and updates coming for this game. So if you do want to stay up to date with everything FIFA 21 and FIFA 22, then make sure you are following the channel. Getting back into the video, it's fair to say that FIFA is dying. This is where it always comes down to every single year. Once team of the season arrives and finishes, that's when it's a good indication the game's starting to die. The promos after this can be decent, but it just doesn't bring as many players back as what it was able to do before. Players are bored with gameplay, they don't really see the need to trade or do anything in particular because they've already got amazing teams. And right now, with EA releasing news about FIFA 22, everyone else is just waiting 2 months until the new game releases where they get to go through all of this again. But for those of you that do still want to carry on playing FIFA 21 and do still want to grind and make some coins without putting a crazy amount of time in, this is what I recommend. And it comes down to 3 different things that I'm doing right now. The first thing is every single day I make sure that I preview all my packs. This is the new meta of Ultimate Team. It was originally introduced as a way for EA to get around all the different gambling situations that they got in with different countries and the laws, but it's ended up being a very good way on how you can make coins in Ultimate Team, because you don't even need to use your coins to buy the packs anymore. You're allowed to preview certain packs, which allows you to see exactly what's going to be part of that pack. Once you've previewed it, it's up to you whether or not you want to buy it or just move on. If you move on, you would have to wait at least 24 hours for you to preview the exact same pack, or you can move on to other variations of packs. You can go through the bronze packs, the silver packs, the 5k, the 7.5k, move on to any promos that EA have released. This allows you every single day to go into Ultimate Team and just spend 5 minutes previewing everything. If you get something that gives you more coins than a pack is actually worth, you buy that pack and sell that player immediately on. If you get players that do not sell for more than a pack is worth, that's perfectly fine. You just move on to the next one. This doesn't cost you anything. You can preview everything for free, it just costs a bit of time. But if you do get something good, there's times where you can actually make a decent amount of coins. You haven't had to do anything for it except for opening packs. This has now become part of my daily routine. Every time I wake up and go and turn on my Xbox or PlayStation, I immediately go into FIFA 21 and I go and preview everything. This is still based on chance, so there are some days where you don't get anything, but most days are pretty decent, especially if you have multiple accounts like what I do. I have 4 accounts in total, 2 on Xbox, 2 on PlayStation, and then there's loads of packs for me to be able to preview, giving me a very good chance that I'm going to be able to pack something good, giving me a pretty decent amount of profit into the account. What adds to this routine as of right now is that EA are re-releasing all the different special cards that were released throughout the year, giving you a second chance for you to be able to pull these players. In some cases, I've actually got very lucky. The second thing that I'm doing just to make a few extra coins is looking at different special cards, more specifically the Team of the Week players. Here on this channel, I have showed you a trading method before where you can look at old Team of the Weeks. The first lot of Team of the Weeks that were added to the game are now extremely rare. Those players have been used many times to go through different SBCs, and now those players can become extremely rare where there's only a couple on the market. Some of them are even extinct. Because they're so rare, you can find a massive price gap between the cheapest one to the second cheapest one, allowing you to buy the cheapest one on the market to relist it slightly higher for it to still be the cheapest, but if it does sell, you can make a few extra 1,000 coins. What you had to do originally for this method was look anywhere between Team of the Week 1 all the way up to Team of the Week 15, and you can use a site such as FUT or FUT to get the archive of every single player as part of those Team of the Weeks, but things have since changed. Now is pretty much every single Team of the Week player is good to go through this. Because of the Festival of Football promo, during that time EA didn't release any new informed players. But informed players were still required to go through different SBCs, so this made the average informed player go from around 10 to 15k as their minimum price all the way to the minimum price of 40,000 coins. Now that Festival of Football is over, those players that went up to 40k have now dropped considerably back down to their minimum price, but they are now a lot rarer. If you just use FUTWiz or FUTBin to get a list of gold informed players and look at those that are in your price range, eventually you'll come up to a very good deal. It really doesn't take too long. You just need to put the effort in to find those list of informs and then just keep on typing names in. You go across, compare the cheapest to the second cheapest, and if there's room for you to make profit, you buy the cheapest and relist it slightly higher. You can, if you really want to, merge it with some of the previous trading methods that I've shown here on this channel, such as changing positions just to make a few extra 1,000 coins on each trade. This is entirely up to you. The only issue with this type of method is that it can take some time for these items to sell. But if you are doing what I'm doing, where I am only just playing FIFA for about an hour, what I do is go through every method that I'm talking about in this video and then just list the informed players that I managed to get for a day. That way they will be listed overnight, and this is when most informs and special cards do sell, and they sell at a much higher price because there's not as many listed. Most people forget to list their players overnight, and if I'm listing them, it gives me a higher chance. By the time it comes round to the next day, I go through all of this again, and if the informed players haven't sold, that's perfectly fine. I just relist them for the price that I've listed them at, and eventually they do sell. It might take a couple days, might even take a week, but eventually they do sell and I do get my coins out of them. The last thing that I do is bulk bidding. Bulk bidding is one of those things that I've talked about the most here on this channel, but it does work all year round. Every single day that I log into Ultimate Team, I go through my preview packs, I look at some special cards, and then I always spend some time throwing some bids on some different players. Back before Team of the Season was released, when I first showed this method on this channel, I did say that the good players are those where you can go across the first page and they're all expiring in less than 5 minutes. Unfortunately, at this stage of Ultimate Team, that's not going to happen. There's only 500,000 live trades in the Xbox, which still sounds like a lot, but before Team of the Season, we had over 1.5 million. Making it 3 times easier for you to potentially find some good deals, especially when going through this bulk bidding method. So instead of looking for a player where all their cards are expiring within the first 5 minutes, what you'll find now is that the first page expires in 20 minutes. That's perfectly fine. What I do is then bid on that player and go all the way up to the 1 hour mark. That could be as little as just 1 page across, or it could be a few extra. But either way, I go to the 1 hour mark, back out and find another player, and just do the exact same thing again. On each card, you want to be finding the lowest buy now for that specific player. Just take a couple hundred coins away, and then that's your maximum bid amount. It does mean that you're only going to be making a couple hundred coins profit per trade, but at the end of this, hopefully you'll have more than just one deal. Hopefully you'll have anywhere between 10 to 40 trades, all being able to make just a couple hundred coins, which will equal you making a few thousand coins. And all of this is done with you just spending 5 minutes on the game, actually bidding and finding players, and then just waiting about an hour for all of those deals to expire where you can go and relist them. This gives you a much bigger and better return compared to you getting coins from matches and playing about 3 in about an hour. And this also might go without saying, but between now and the end of FIFA 21, I'm really not playing too many matches, especially on my FUT Fanatic account and my Joas97 account. There are other accounts that I have created in the background for the PlayStation, and those accounts I will play a few matches. Not so much to actually get coins or do anything with, but I just want to make them active accounts before the FIFA 22 web app comes out. That way I will be able to get access to the web app on release, and hopefully I can take advantage by bringing in some of those loyalty bonuses and go through those SBCs before FIFA 22 is officially released on the 27th with Ultimate Edition, or the 1st of October on the Standard Edition. But that is the only reason that I'm playing matches, not so much to actually get coins between now and the end of FIFA 21. But anyway guys, this is exactly what I'm doing between now and the end of FIFA 21 to make coins. Things have become extremely lazy for me when playing Ultimate Team. There's just a lack of motivation when going through, just because there's not too much going on. We got a few more promos between now and the end of the year, EA continuously releasing all the special cards that they've released throughout the year, and then everything else is about FIFA 22. Once FIFA 22 is released, that's where we go through the whole process all over again with a completely fresh market, And that's when I get my motivation back and everything becomes 1,000 times more entertaining. If you do have any questions about anything that we've talked about here in this video, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.